We need to do.
In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountain's hand burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. The air so thick it hums and sings, a slow dance wrapped in unseen strings, clear as glass, but it bites like a snake, sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. Set that burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. The mountain whispers secrets deep, the kind you tell.
Oh, hello, and welcome back again.
Hello.
Hi.
We've
I'm
had
camping on my porch.
plans.
Camping on my porch. I got me a fire in the form of a camp and a sleeping bag. And I'm going to get cozy. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we decided that we all needed a break from the trauma and the heaviness of everything, and do something a little bit lighter. So I've had a bit of I've got two things we can share. So one of them is the 15 most haunted places in Kentucky, and the other one is the 18 creepiest small towns in Australia that the locals warn you not to visit. So I thought
Ooh. There's
and
all kinds of spooky Appalachian stories that
yeah, I reckon there might
we're
be.
going to cover too.
Yep,
At
I
some
reckon
point.
those hills can talk.
That's my specialty. I love talking about that stuff.
Yes.
I love the paranormal and shit. I mean that.
Me too.
You know the other.
That's our ancestors, man.
Mine's history. I just love
Yeah.
history.
The other case I'm doing is on the Port Arthur massacre. I don't know if you remember that, down in Tasmania, where 35 people were died in a mass shooting. It's the biggest one in Australia ever.
You've got some episodes about that, don't you?
I've been doing. Yeah, that's the other case I've been following.
Okay.
And it's a 30-year-old case, and he was framed for that, like completely, like. But he's done 30 years for it so far, and I can't get anyone to get any support for him to reopen the case because they've sealed all of the records until 2099. Now you only do that if you're hiding shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you didn't have nothing to hide, then you wouldn't be hiding it. Period.
Yeah. He never got to trial, so we never got to hear all the evidence, and what evidence is out there does not match up at all.
That's not good.
No.
Not good at all.
66.
No,
so
it's not. It's very
Yeah.
MK Ultra.
Well, that's how they got. That's how. You know how I said to you that the
Very
two.
much mind control, very much manipulation. Yeah.
Well, the two
It's
cases I
interesting. It's a
chose.
very interesting case.
Yeah, one's a 30-year-old case in Tasmania, Australia, and it involves MK Ultra, and
Mhm.
your case, the other side of the world, current, and it involves MK Ultra, and I'd never heard
Right.
of that before in
Which
my
is
life.
odd. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Which
they
I
were saying,
think that that's going to be something that's going to be more common soon. There's
yeah,
probably going to be a lot of more people putting it together and understanding and learning about MK Ultra and
yeah,
what it really is and how they've been involved in it, like even
I
without knowing.
think
I think that
I think
that's going
these
to be part of the
Epstein
awakening because
I,
that was part of the spell to put us to sleep. You
I
know,
think these Epstein files is the big
it's the
like
catalyst.
download. It's the big down. It's the one that is going to make everybody realize, oh my God,
Makes you pick a side, you for good or evil.
oh my God, you know,
Yeah.
it makes you stop and think. So I think that was the big download that we was all waiting on, you know. Now we got
Yeah.
to see what the fallout's going to be, you know.
Right.
The only problem is that, like everyone, the Epstein files, if your name is mentioned in them, it's automatically assumed that you are in there for the wrong reasons, which isn't always the case.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
kind of starting to change up now. Like people are starting to actually read through them and make some sense out of them. And I think a lot of the misinformation or the misconceptions are starting to die down.
Because there's an
I don't want to
attorney.
speculate on it yet because there was another big, massive drop of unredacted shit that I have not had to look. Not gotten to look at yet.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say either way. I don't know what. I don't
Right.
know
You
yet.
can't yet. You really
More
can't
research
yet because it's
required.
what's happening. The world,
Right.
you
I
went to
mean, the
bed.
basics is that the government fucking sucks. We're slaves, and it's up to
Oh,
us to whether
Lord.
we're going to stay this way or not. Are we going to cave in and let them continue, or are we going to stand up and fucking fight it? That's what it
Have
comes
you
down
heard of
to.
the Long Island serial killer?
What is
Long
no?
Island.
What is
So,
that?
Or what's it called? Oh,
is he the one that had the bodies, like 7 bodies out, like on the beach? They found them out there.
yes.
What about that
Okay.
guy in Pennsylvania recently that they just found that had his whole house decorated with dead bodies and stuff? Very Ed Gein, or what was his name? That
Gain.
Texas serial killer that did that made lampshades out of human skin and shit.
Ed Gain.
Ed Gein. Well, the guy in Pennsylvania. This just happened recently. Did you see that?
Yeah, he had that
He's a
goth.
hottie too. Like he had tattoos all up on his neck and shit. He looked cute, long hair. Looked like he was in shape and stuff. Like that's scary. That's
Did
His
that really
house
go
scary.
to
was
A
pretty
very
trial?
bad.
normal looking dude, and then they found that in his house,
Was that
and he'd been grave robbing, like in like all old bodies. It was like antique bodies and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah.
did that recently go to trial or?
No, he just got caught.
He just
He
got
ain't even been to
caught.
trial yet.
That's where I've heard the name then.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we can look it up later or tomorrow or something. I'll do some more research.
And
Yeah.
then Ed Gain is the famous serial killer.
That's the
Yes.
first thing that popped in my mind is like, oh my God, that sounded just like him,
American
Yeah.
except this guy was robbing graves and Ed Gein was like the killer.
Taking body, yeah.
Right. Like this guy, I think he just collected the already dead. I don't think he was a killer. I think he just liked dead bodies.
Oh, Lord.
But there, like I said, more research required. I don't know. He's a weirdo.
Right. That's another,
That's a
man,
rabbit hole I've not been in yet. I just kind of poke my nose into it to see, do I want to
Yeah.
go down this? And I definitely do. I've just not had time.
It looks like there's a documentary on Netflix for him.
A what?
There's a documentary on Netflix about Ed Gein, I think.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that hottie from
I think it's odd
Son
how
of
they started
Anarchy
making all these
played him.
documentaries about fucking Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, they done that one.
And if you notice, there's a couple of songs that mention Jeffrey Dahmer, like "Eat Your Heart Out," like I'm Jeffrey Dahmer. Like there's,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, you know, Hollywood always shows you and tells you everything they're doing anyway, and they've always got all this symbolism and shit about eating people, but like the files, man.
I know.
The files like confirm it all, you know? And it was so much bigger of an operation than anybody ever was prepared for, I think. Even the ones that were awake, I don't think we were prepared for how vast the evil really is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
It's all
T-Paws,
encompassing.
welcome. Thank
We're in
you
the
for
pits of
joining.
hell.
Thank you for
But we
joining.
can come out because we can bring heaven to earth. That's what Jesus says, kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. And that's up to us to find Jesus in our hearts and to find our connection to source and bring it here, anchor it.
T-Paws 72 says if people actually knew what they were eating and breathing every day, it would terrify them.
I know I am.
I
I'm
know.
fucking traumatized from that shit, man. I can't eat nothing. Tell me
Yeah,
about
Ty's
it.
been on
How
strike
you
ever
think I've lost
since.
so much fucking weight and shit?
Yeah.
I can't because I don't
They
know what the fuck it is, and I'm too scared that it's a person or somebody's missing child.
Yep.
She's
If
not.
they don't respond to you, they
There goes
can't
that
see your
truck
chat.
again.
That's why they're on their phones and the chat's too small for them to see. So if they don't respond, they're not ignoring you, I promise. And I will try and point out as many as I can.
Oh, okay. I probably need to.
No, it's okay. I'm just explaining why if people ask a question or say something and you don't acknowledge it, that's
Oh,
why
okay.
they can't see it. That's all. All right.
Got it. I
Sorry,
got
guys. I
it.
don't always look at the comments like I should,
I know.
and my phone acts weird. So sometimes I
Yeah.
miss things. I apologize if I'm not answering you right.
When you get
Yeah,
deep into a story, it distracts you, and it's hard
yeah,
to do both at the same time. But
yeah.
that's all right. All right. So this is
We'll try
from
to recap them though.
True Scary Stories. I've put the link out, so a shout out to them. Thank you for letting us share this. And if it's shit, we'll change it. But I think it's worth a look, just to have a little bit of a light side, a bit of a light-hearted shit. Well, haunted shit's probably not light-hearted, but you know what I mean. No
It's a
trauma shit.
shits and giggles kind of night.
A decompression. We needed to decompress.
I reckon about 12 months ago, I did a shits and giggles. I was going to have a shits and giggles segment on the on my channel, and I
Yeah.
even did a where is it? I even did a fucking promo thing for it. Let me see if I've got it because it was fucking hysterical.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure I saved it. Where is it? There it is. Shits and gigs. Oh, why is it doing that?
I'm trying to watch this truck over here. Don't know what the hell they're doing, trying to turn around between two driveways and a road at a crossroads.
There it
Yep,
is.
there they
Is
went
it?
over the hill in the grass.
Is it?
Remember that same truck I told you that drove by like 2 or 3 times already that don't belong here? I ain't never seen it in the holler.
Yeah.
Got its trunk, the bed of it's got a tote box and a bunch of trash and shit. Look like
Uh
clothes
huh.
and everything in it. It's got a light bar in the middle of it, double headlights on each side, and one of the tail lights is out. And now they just went over there, stopped in front of the neighbor's house, backed up, and then got hung up and just drove over back into the fucking neighbor's field.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Shits and
then they
giggles.
just left down towards Spring Branch. I'm telling you that they don't fucking belong here. They don't know who I don't know who they are, but they don't belong here. I know that much.
Be
All right, you ready?
careful.
I'm good. I'll put my candle out. I'm just gonna lay here and watch TV with you all.
Shits and gigs.
I love it.
That's my shits and gigs intro. I've never used it. It's still sitting there. So
Well,
not
you got to use it tonight.
yeah. I was gonna do a shits and gigs segment.
My neighbor's home. I feel safer now. Better.
All right, let's get back to the real shit. Hey, the real scary shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Christine, how you going, sweetheart? All righty. And very pleased, Mr. Easy.
Kentucky isn't just bluegrass and bourbon. It's a graveyard of restless souls still walking among the living.
Great picture.
From the blood-soaked hills of Perryville to the haunted halls of Waverly Hills Sanatorium, every corner of this state hides a story that refuses to die. Tonight, we're opening the doors to 15 of Kentucky's most haunted places where history breathes.
Oh, we're doing Kentucky. I thought we was doing Australia.
Past
Wow,
never
we was,
sleeps.
but then I looked up this one.
All right.
Are Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Louisville. They say the walls of Waverly Hills still breathe at night. Once a grand symbol of hope for tuberculosis patients, it now stands as a hollow monument to pain. The wind whistling through its broken windows sounds almost human, like whispers trapped between worlds. Visitors who dare to enter describe a heavy feeling, as if unseen eyes follow every step down those endless, echoing corridors. The air grows colder the deeper you go, and sometimes the faint metallic scent of blood lingers where no one has walked for decades. Rumors began long before the building was abandoned. Nurses who vanished without a trace. Patients whose screams were silenced behind sealed doors. They say room 502 is cursed. A nurse found hanging from the rafters. Her eyes open wide as if she'd seen something unspeakable. Since then, shadows move in that room, even when no light shines. Flashlights flicker, and faint footsteps approach, only to stop right behind you. Some hear whispers calling their names. Others catch glimpses of white figures gliding through the stairwell before dissolving into mist. Ghost hunters come armed with recorders and bravado, but few last long.
Did you not hear that?
Do what?
Him whispering, or
You
he's
can hear
whispering.
people. You
Oh,
can hear
yeah.
the whispers of people's names in
Hi,
the corridors. I'm
baby.
going, Tya, Tya.
You want to know what I'm doing? I'm
Asshole.
going to turn my camera on for a minute and let you see.
Oh, the little chickies. I can't help it.
I know. Angels.
You know this.
Look at this baby.
Is that copper?
Nope. Ooh. This one, we've not decided a name yet, but she definitely decided she's mine. She auditioned and won the part. I'm waiting to pick out her name from her personality.
Oh, we should have a.
We shall see.
We can include
Yes, she said, meet me. Meet me. That's what she's saying in my ear. Meet me. Yeah, meet me.
We could have a naming competition on the 2000.
We can. We can. I'll start
Oh, that
getting
would
some
be cool.
content. I'll start filming her over the next few days of her personality. And we'll
Well,
put it
knowing her
out there in the
Jody-
shorts. And then
Jody-
let people see what they think. And
Jody,
cast votes.
What time is it in Kentucky, Teresia? That my stream is going to air the 2000 subscriber one. Is it like 6 p.m. or something tomorrow, or I can't remember. I haven't
I
done
have no
any.
idea, y'all. I can't keep up with the time zone stuff.
I know.
Time's not linear for me anyway. Time moves strangely for someone with ADHD.
I have to put in
So.
on this end the time that it
You
is in
ready,
Australia
baby?
and hope that it works out
My sweet baby right here.
the right time over there. 6 p.m. Okay, 6 p.m. tomorrow.
okay.
So
Okay.
we'll have a birdie naming competition as well.
She is so sweet.
And shit.
Damn, so sweet. So
Set
sweet.
a poll up. A poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sweet.
A
Yeah.
We got a Birdie McBird face.
Oh,
Dinosaur. She's a dinosaur. See, I'm a dinosaur, roar. Yeah, dinosaur. We're going. Oh, you can't perch on my hand. I need to turn you over so I can put you back with your brothers
Actually,
and sisters.
I'll put a poll up now, and people can
She keeps saying, listen,
a poller.
tell her.
Oh, what's
Meet.
that?
She's telling you. She's saying, meet.
is there?
Meet.
We need
meet.
3,
Very soft spoken.
maybe
very
3
sweet.
good name ideals.
Yeah, I need 3. I've got one named Copper already. This is her. Come here, Copper. Right here. Oop. Yeah, she's a little more feisty. But this is Copper.
Name.
Because she is Copper.
Okay, so you've got one named
So we
Copper,
got one named
and
Copper.
what's the other one's name?
The other one's got silver wings. And then the white one, her name is Angel.
Okay, so
Jump pads in
Copper,
your
Angel.
box. Yep.
What would be a good name for the other one?
There you go, but she's all the way down my back. Okay, there we go. She got off me.
She's saucy.
Hi, Copper. She is sassy. She's very sassy. I love her personality. And this one is Angel because she's got angel wings. When I say, I just got a little angel wings.
Oh,
She's just white and pure. Oh, come back. Yeah, you're safe. You're safe.
God,
There
they're
she
getting
is.
so big, Todd. They
They
just
are.
hatched the other day. I
I
swear.
know. I know. Meet. Meet Angel. So we just need a name for the one that's got
Yeah.
gray, streaky silver wings and a white body. And she keeps saying, meet, and she's so sweet.
All right.
This one's my baby too, though. Angel girl.
So
This
that's
one's my angel girl.
where people can put their
Me. Yeah.
Chipper.
Okay.
Chipper's a good one. I like that.
And then she
Yeah.
can be Jody's adopt-a chicken. You can, she can take care of her from Australia, and you can send her videos of her.
Okay, sweet girl. Climb up there. Get on your perch.
Nuggets.
Good girl. Good
Stop
girl.
that.
They'll be trained. They'll be trained to not poop on my porch. Number 1. That's number 1. To not poop on my porch, and they'll be able to I'll be able to tell them by command where to go, and they'll do what they say. They'll act like dogs by the time I'm done with them.
Lucia says Bobby has chickens. Her husband. He's raised from baby chicks. I personally can't stand them. I call them dinner if they get in my flower garden.
I love them too much to eat them. I
Yeah,
cannot.
me too.
Now, the ones that does so, there is now the ones on the left hand side, they're not socialized at all. And that's kind of the point in that, because they will go to the barn and some of them might be meat chickens,
Yeah.
but I cannot form a bond with them and then eat them.
No.
Yeah.
So half of them, it's just the ones, I know it seems mean or cruel, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. I can't form a bond with them and then turn around and clean one and feed it to my family.
Yeah.
Right.
So some of them I remain disconnected from and disassociated with. I try to think of them as food or as a food source, that they are the ones that's going to lay our eggs and things.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think of them as pets. I have to completely separate or compartmentalize that in my mind just to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
That's why we don't do pigs anymore, because I bonded too close with one. And the cows,
Yeah,
same
they're
thing.
easy too.
We don't do beef anymore either, because I bonded too fucking close to them. I can't do it.
No.
Can't do it. Can't take care of them like that and then slaughter them.
No.
My heart can't handle it.
I feel like I've tried them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did she watch this? Hello, Chicky.
Yeah, that's
Machines
good.
malfunction. Voices appear in static, and unseen hands
Can you all
brush
hear it
against
okay?
their skin.
Perfectly.
The death tunnel.
Yeah,
How
it's
it's
good.
Oh
used
my
to
God, did you
transport
hear
corpses
that
discreetly
Elvis
down the hill
Presley is alive and
hums
well?
with the restless energy of
So they had a
thousands who
DNA
never
test
left.
and it's really him.
The deeper you descend, the
Okay, I'm
louder
on
the
mute.
air seems to pulse like the heartbeat of something that remembers suffering. And yet, every year, new seekers return to Waverly Hills, drawn by the same forbidden curiosity. Maybe they want proof of life after death, or maybe the place itself calls to them, testing their courage. So if you ever find yourself standing before those towering ruins under a moonlit sky.
I recommend
Ask
not.
yourself, do you believe in ghosts? Or will you wait for one to answer you? 2. Bobby Mackey's Music World Wilder. At first glance, Bobby Mackey's Music World looks like any small-town honky-tonk, a neon glow, laughter spilling from the bar, and the hum of country music filling the air. But beneath its floorboards lies something older, darker, and far less forgiving. Locals whisper that the building was once a slaughterhouse, and its basement a drainage pit became what they now call the gateway to hell. Some say that pit still reeks faintly of blood.
Oh,
Though it's been dry for decades, the stories began with a woman named Pearl Bryan, whose body was found nearby in 1896, her head missing.
Oh.
Her killers were said to have disposed of it in the pit below this very building. Ever since, her restless spirit has been tied to the place. Her perfume occasionally drifting through the air just before the jukebox powers on by itself. Bartenders swear the music changes to a waltz no one remembers selecting, and a woman's soft sobs echo from the empty dance floor. Paranormal investigators call it one of America's most haunted nightclubs. Cameras fail, batteries drain, and growls vibrate through the basement walls. One former caretaker claimed he saw a shadow crawl across the ceiling, whispering his name in a guttural tone that no human throat could make. The stairway to the basement, once sealed off, still draws those foolish enough to test the legend. They say if you stand at the bottom and call into the darkness, something always answers. To outsiders, Bobby Mackey's is just a bar. But to those who've heard the cries from beneath the stage, it's a place where the line between music and madness blurs. So next time you drive through Wilder, Kentucky, and see that flickering neon sign, ask yourself,
Somebody
would
said
you
they
dare
tore it
go
down.
inside when the band stops playing and the whispers begin? Say the Old Talbot
Where's
Tavern,
that at, Brandy?
Bardstown, in the heart of Bardstown.
Wilder,
where urban
Wilder,
brick streets
Kentucky.
tell stories older
It's
than
in
the town
northern
itself,
Kentucky, but it's
stands the
somebody,
Old Talbot Tavern, a place
I think my
where
brother
history
told me or
refuses to
somebody
die
that
quietly.
they tore it down,
Built in 1779,
actually.
it has served travelers, soldiers, and outlaws alike.
Good. All my neighbors.
some of
is
those
helping. I
guests
feel better now.
Never checked out.
Relax.
Beneath the warm amber
You know,
glow
if
of the
anybody comes
lanterns,
creeping around, they'll be
there's
out
a
here
chill
on.
that creeps up your spine. A reminder that this inn is more than just an antique. It's a threshold between centuries, and maybe between worlds. Patrons claim to have seen shadowy figures gliding through the upstairs hallway, footsteps echoing long after midnight. Room 308 is infamous. Guests awake to the sound of boots pacing beside their beds, as if someone invisible is keeping watch. The scent of pipe smoke fills the air even when no one is smoking. But perhaps the most haunting of all is the legend of Jesse James. They say the notorious outlaw once stayed here, and his restless spirit still lingers. On the wall of an old guest room, bullet holes remain, said to be fired by James himself. Some nights, that same wall seems to pulse faintly, like it remembers the gunshot. Visitors describe hearing a man's laugh in the empty dining room or catching a glimpse of a rugged figure in a wide-brimmed hat, fading into the mirror's reflection. Lights flicker, doors creak open on their own, and an old piano downstairs sometimes plays 2 notes, slow, deliberate, and cold. The Old Talbot Tavern wears its ghosts with pride, each room a chapter of Kentucky's haunted history. But if you ever spend the night there, don't ignore the knock at your door around 3A. It might be a lost traveler looking for shelter, or it might be Jesse James himself, returning to finish a drink he started more than a century ago. 4. Cave Hill Cemetery, Louisville. By day, Cave Hill Cemetery is a place of beauty, rolling green hills, marble angels, and quiet reflection beneath towering oaks. But when night falls, that peace fades into something else entirely. The gates, cast in iron and shadow, seem to guard not the living, but the restless. Locals say that when the last light dips below the horizon, Cave Hill awakens, the still air thickens, and the dead begin to whisper, Founded in the 1800s,
I just have to take a call, darling, so I'll be away for 5 minutes. I'll just keep this running, alrighty?
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
this vast cemetery holds more than 130,000
That kind of
souls,
looks like Arlington, don't
from
it?
Civil War soldiers to the victims of forgotten epidemics.
Yeah,
Many
it
visitors
does.
claim that spirits wander the grounds, searching for names
Spirits
long
do
erased from
wander
memory.
these hills.
A mist
Oh,
often
yeah,
clings
that's
to the
for sure.
tombstones near the
Yeah.
old lake, and within it,
Hell, the land
pale
is
figures
spirits
flicker
itself.
in and out of sight.
Every area it feels like.
Security guards have reported cold hands brushing their shoulders and hearing children's laughter echoing from empty pathways. One even swore he saw a Union soldier standing by the gates, only for the figure to dissolve as he approached. There's a particular legend about the Seelbach family mausoleum, a heavy marble door that sometimes stands slightly ajar by morning, though no living soul has the key. On stormy nights, a soft humming can be heard from inside, a melody without words. Some say it's a mother singing to her child buried there. Others think it's something older, something that never rested at all. Even skeptics admit that Cave Hill carries an energy unlike any other place in Louisville. So if you ever find yourself wandering those paths after dark, and you feel the faint breath of wind on your neck, don't turn around too quickly. Because here, among the graves, not every whisper comes from the wind, and not every shadow belongs to you.
Yep. Not every whisper belongs to the
Perryville
wind, and
battlefield.
not every shadow
Perryville.
belongs to you. I like that.
The hills of Perryville look peaceful now,
Yeah.
green fields swaying under the Kentucky sun. But in
That
October
is
of
why it's just for life
1862,
in general.
they ran red with blood.
Exactly.
This was the site of one of the fiercest battles of the Civil War, where more
I
than
read a book
7,000
about that
soldiers were killed or
when I
wounded
was in
in a single
college.
day.
That was
Locals say the land remembers. On quiet nights, when the fog rolls low, the past seems to breathe again. Farmers nearby speak of hearing drums in the distance, steady and solemn, as if the armies still march across the ridges. Travelers see lanterns floating through the mist, carried by figures in torn gray and blue uniforms. Some have followed those lights only to find themselves standing in an empty field, surrounded by silence. Even the animals act strange here. Horses refuse to cross certain spots, and dogs howl at shadows no one else can see. Park rangers tell of a particular ridge where the temperature drops suddenly, the air thick with the metallic scent of gunpowder. Visitors report hearing cries for water, the same desperate pleas once shouted by dying men scattered across these slopes. One ranger, locking up at dusk, swore he saw 2 soldiers facing each other in the field, one raising a rifle, the other clutching his chest, before they both vanished like smoke in the wind. Perryville battlefield is more than a memorial, it's a wound that never healed. Beneath the calm earth lie thousands who never went home, and perhaps never found peace. So if you stand there at sunset and the air turns heavy, listen closely. The war may have ended over a century ago, but here, the dead still fight for remembrance. Or Octagon Hall, Franklin. The
You think
Octagon
it's
Hall rises strangely from the
so
Kentucky countryside.
haunted
Its
in
eight-sided
Kentucky
walls
because we're
casting
just so
eerie angles in the
superstitious.
moonlight. Built before
No,
the Civil War,
I
it has
think
stood
that
witness to
it
both
is because
refuge
there's been
and
so
ruin,
much
its
blood
history
spilled
soaked in
here.
blood,
They don't call
secrets,
it
and sorrow.
bloody Kentucky or bloody
Locals
grounds for
call it the
nothing.
house
You
Right.
know,
that watches
Yeah.
you,
bloody Harlan.
because
There,
no
I mean,
matter where
it's
you
all
stand,
over the state.
Right.
you feel its eyes on your back.
True.
During the war,
That's what I'm saying. Like the dreams
Confederate
that I have
soldiers
and
hid within
shit.
these walls,
I've
People
been
think I'm
there.
recovering
crazy
from
when I
wounds and
talk about
disease.
that, but the fucking bones
It
and the
said their
blood cry
spirits
out to me from the
never
ground
left.
when I sleep.
Did you
Visitors
hear
often
me?
hear
I
muffled
can't
I've
cries for
been
fucking
help,
sleep.
the clatter of
I've
So,
been
boots on
there.
wooden floors, or
yeah,
doors slamming in
here,
rooms long empty.
Yeah, I've been there.
In the dim
cool.
glow of the upper hallway, some have seen a soldier kneeling, clutching his chest,
Oh, how
fading
neat.
away before their eyes. But the most unsettling ghost isn't a soldier, it's a little girl.
Yeah.
Her name, they say, was Mary Elizabeth, a child who perished in a fire within the hall. Guests have reported hearing soft humming, a child's laughter echoing through the stairwell, and the faint sound of a ball bouncing though no one is there. Cameras malfunction when her presence is near. and cold spots linger where she's been seen. Some
They've
claim
got
she
it set
tugs
up like a
gently at
museum.
sleeves, as if asking to play.
Yeah.
Even seasoned ghost hunters leave shaken. The air in Octagon Hall feels charged, like the building itself remembers. Whispers drift from its brick walls, pleading
It's
or
a special
warning.
building.
Never
It's an
clear
octagon
which.
shape.
So if you ever find yourself standing in that creaking hall at
That's
night,
unique.
Yeah,
and a small hand
very.
brushes against yours in the dark, ask yourself, is it the wind, or is Mary Elizabeth still waiting for someone to answer her call? Benham Schoolhouse in Cumberland.
I've been there.
Once a proud school
Yeah,
nestled in
that's
the
so far
Appalachian
from
Hills.
here.
The
Yeah,
Benham Schoolhouse
right
Inn
across the mountain.
now stands as a strange blend of history and haunting. Built in the 1920s to educate the children of coal miners. It later transformed into a hotel, but some say the echoes of the past refused to leave when the classrooms emptied. At night, when the halls are quiet, you can still hear the faint shuffle of shoes on tile floors and the soft murmur of children reciting lessons that ended nearly a century ago. Guests often wake to the sound of giggling just outside their doors, followed by the patter of small feet running down the corridor, though the security cameras show nothing. One woman swore she saw a little boy standing at the end of the hallway, holding a worn-out book, his face pale and eyes hollow. When she blinked, he was gone. Others claim to hear the old school bell ringing at midnight, its rusted clapper unmoving in the tower. Staff members tell of a janitor who once worked late into the night and quit the next morning, shaken and pale. He said he saw a classroom light flicker on by itself. When he stepped inside, the chalkboard had fresh writing. Be quiet. Class is still in session.
Oh,
The words
gosh.
faded as he watched, like breath on glass. Locals believe the energy of the children and teachers who once filled those rooms remains, looping endlessly through the years. By day, it's an inviting inn with laughter and warmth. But when darkness falls, the building reverts to what it remembers best, a school full of voices, waiting for a morning that never comes. And if you ever hear the bell toll while you're alone, you might want to leave before attendance is taken again. 8. Whitehall, Richmond. Whitehall stands proudly among the rolling fields of Richmond, a
I
gleaming
think we went
antebellum
there on our
mansion
8th grade
that
trip.
once echoed with music,
Yeah, I
debate,
think I've been there too.
and ambition. Built in 1798, it was
They
the
all
home of
take us
Cassius
there on
Marcellus
their
Clay,
8th grade trip,
a
like
fiery
the Frankfurt
abolitionist
and there.
politician known as the Lion of Whitehall. But
Okay,
behind the
we went
elegance and
at
intellect that defined his legacy
Yep,
younger
that's
than
lies a
it.
deeper current of
our eighth grade
tragedy
trip. We went to
that never
Washington,
truly
D.C.
left the house.
It's got a big brass
Visitors say
bathtub in it.
the mansion
I
still
remember
hums
seeing
with
that
the energy of the
and
people
thinking I
who
want one
lived
of
and
those.
died within its
That's
walls,
beautiful there. I love that
restless,
green.
unseen,
Oh, it's
and waiting
glorious.
to be acknowledged.
It is. It's
Tour
wonderful.
guides tell of the piano that plays faintly in the dead of night.
I
The
don't think I
tune
had
that
been
ends
there. I
abruptly
thought it
when
was
someone
something
enters
else.
the
That's
room.
not what I thought it was.
Others report seeing the faint silhouette of a man standing by the library window,
It's in Richmond, I think.
staring out
Pretty
toward the
sure.
fields as
They
if
said.
watching for someone who
Ooh,
never returned. On stormy nights,
I love
the
those
scent of
old
cigar
outside
smoke
kitchens.
drifts
They ain't
through
nothing
nappy
like the
halls.
outside kitchen.
Yeah,
Clay's favorite
it's
indulgence,
so pretty.
though no flame
So
burns
functional.
anywhere nearby. There is one room,
Trundle
however,
bed.
that seems
My
colder than the
grandma
rest.
had him.
That's beautiful.
Guests who step inside describe an
Ooh,
unshakable
I could
feeling
build
of
one of
being
those,
watched.
couldn't I?
Mirrors
Yeah,
cloud over,
that's what I
and
told
sometimes
you,
a
a trundle
reflection
bed.
lingers a second too long after you've moved away.
Yeah, like
One
that.
historian claims she heard a woman's voice whisper, "He's still here." Just before her camera shut off by itself, Whitehall has been restored beautifully, but no amount
Yeah.
of polish can erase what time remembers. The walls themselves seem alive, breathing softly with the memories of laughter,
That old barn.
argument, and loss. And when the last visitor leaves and the doors lock for the night, the mansion grows silent again, until, somewhere deep inside, a single piano key strikes in the dark, reminding you that Whitehall is never truly empty. 9. Sauerkraut Cave, Louisville. Beneath the serene fields of E.P., Tom Sawyer State Park lies a place
I ain't
so
never heard
strange
that.
few dare to enter twice, Sauerkraut Cave.
A
Its name,
lot of
almost
types
playful, hides a
around
history that
Kentucky,
chills
don't
the
I
blood.
don't think I
Long before
know
it
that
became
one.
part of the park,
There's a
this
lot of
cave
like
sat
uncharted
beneath the
caves
Lakeland
here.
Asylum for the Insane. Its
Oh
tunnels
no.
once stored barrels of fermented cabbage. But rumor has it, they also concealed something far more sinister. Patients from the asylum were said to be dragged down here for punishment, or worse, for experiments no one was meant to see. Locals
I don't
still
know.
whisper about muffled screams echoing through the limestone halls and the sound of chains clinking in total darkness. Some claim the asylum used the cave to hide the dead, those who never survived their treatments. And though the asylum was demolished decades ago, the cave remains, a silent witness to everything buried above it. Those who venture inside tell of disembodied voices calling their names, the air heavy with the smell of decay, and something sour like the ghost of the sauerkraut that once filled the tunnels. Flashlights
gosh.
flicker, batteries drain, and sudden whispers crawl out from the pitch-black corners. A few explorers say they've seen handprints appear on the walls, slick with condensation as if something unseen is pressing to get out. Even in daylight, the cave feels wrong. Birds won't nest near the entrance, and cell signals vanish without explanation. Some paranormal investigators insist the energy there is oppressive, as though the earth itself has absorbed centuries of torment. So if you ever find yourself standing before the gaping mouth of Sauerkraut
good.
Cave, remember it's not the darkness you should
Don't
fear.
need to
It's
visit.
what remembers you after you leave.
Right. No need to go there.
I got enough bad shit in my
10.
life.
Right.
Jailer's Inn, Bardstown. In the heart of Bardstown's quaint downtown
Maybe
stands
we
a
could
place
drop
that
some off.
once held screams
Yeah.
instead of laughter.
Maybe
The
they'll
Jailer's
welcome
Inn,
some of our dark
what now
shit.
serves as a charming bed and breakfast, was, for nearly 2
What's this
centuries,
one?
a working jail. From 1797
Oh, Lord.
to 1987, it housed murderers,
Fletcher
drifters,
County.
and broken souls who never saw the sun again.
They have pretty
Its thick
tables
limestone
and chairs.
walls have absorbed every cry, every confession, every dying breath, and at
Oh
night,
gosh.
It's
they
a
give them back.
jail.
Yeah.
Not
Yes,
saying they've
because
taken
of the
Turner
sound of
County Jail
rattling
into a
keys and
place
heavy
to try to
footsteps
sleep. Oh
pacing
no.
outside their locked doors.
That's horrible.
Some
They've
report
made
the
it an
faint jingle of
Airbnb or some
chains
shit.
dragging across the floor,
I know, but
followed
that's
by a deep
horrible.
sigh that chills the
know.
air. Room 3 is
It is.
infamous. Visitors describe a shadowy figure standing in the corner.
What's probably going to end
Watching
up
as they
happening in
sleep.
Electra County Jail.
The air smells faintly of iron like rust.
No, the place sure has some
One
fucking
story stands
restless
out among
spirits.
them all, the spirit of a former jailer who took
And
his
their
own
lives
life within
lost there.
these
Too
walls.
much pain and trauma for there
They
not
say
to
he
be.
still makes his
Hey,
nightly
look.
rounds,
Oh my
checking
God.
cells
Yeah,
that
why
no
they
longer
fixed it up all
exist.
pretty? That's
In
fucking
the
weird.
courtyard, cold spots linger where gallows once stood, and
Oh.
people claim to hear a man whisper.
Gallows?
Which I guess
Justice
it would
never
be nice
rests.
for the ghosts, you know,
Cameras often fail there.
if they're
To have
stuck there,
company.
to
Guests who
at
stay
least
in the
have a
old
change
cell
of
room
fucking
sometimes
scenery and
find
have
their
it turned
belongings
into something
moved,
nice
as if inspected.
where you can interact with people
By
and
day,
stuff. I can
the
understand
Jailer's
that
Inn
from a
looks
ghost
almost peaceful.
perspective. I
Flowers
think I
Yeah.
would
blooming against the old
appreciate
stone
it.
facade.
You know what I mean?
I just think it's
Tourists laughing
weird.
over breakfast.
Take this horrible place
But when
of
the sun
pain and
dips
turn
behind
it into
Bardstown's
something that might
rooftops,
bring somebody else
the inn
joy.
changes.
I
The
get it.
walls breathe again. The past returns. And if you're
Or
unlucky enough to hear a
connection,
cell door
you know?
slam in the middle of the
Yeah.
night,
But
don't go
bedtime's
looking for the source.
bedtime. I don't want to be in a
Some doors
jail.
here haven't been open for over 100 years, and
Right?
some
Definitely
prisoners
know.
never
not.
left.
I guess it's one of those weird things. I don't know, for people
And
who've never
Rose Opera
experienced such
House,
a thing.
Cynthiana.
Yeah.
The macabre,
On Main
if you
Street in the
will.
quiet town of Cynthiana
Oh my
stands a
God. We
building that
lived there.
still
That's where
dreams of
Tony
law.
was born. He's born in the
The
hospital
Rose
that
Opera House, built in 1871, once filled with
The
music,
Walking Dead was
laughter,
done.
and the thunder of
Yeah.
ovations, now hums with something colder, a sorrow that
That
clings
baby.
to its red velvet seats and refuses to fade. The stage remains. The curtains still draw. But sometimes, it's the dead who perform. Locals say that after the lights go out, the theater awakens. Ushers have heard footsteps on the balcony when no one's there, and the faint rustle of a dress moving across the aisles.
I'm
The most
surprised
famous
Sarah
presence
didn't
is
make me
known
go
simply
there.
as the Lady in White, a spectral figure who appears near the stage, her face pale, eyes distant, forever waiting for her cue. Actors rehearsing late into the night often
Spirits
feel
don't
her
scare
watching
me,
from the
though.
wings, or smell her
I'm used to
perfume
spirits.
drifting through the empty air. But she's not alone.
to odd
2 children are
occurrences.
said to haunt the upper rows, their laughter echoing faintly between the seats. Some say they play tag. Others swear they tug at curtains and hum old show tunes. A few unlucky visitors have even seen a tall shadow pacing the backstage corridor, its movements jerky, its shape human only in outline. Paranormal investigators have recorded whispers saying, "Encore," or "It's not over." Lights flicker, microphones crackle with unseen voices, and temperature drops sweep through the theater mid-performance. The Rose Opera House, it seems, can't tell where the past ends and the present begins. So if you ever take a seat beneath that ornate ceiling and feel a cold breath against your neck, don't turn around. The show, for some, has never truly ended. 12. Shaker Village of Pleasant Hill, Harrodsburg. Peaceful and picturesque by day, the Shaker Village of Pleasant Hill hides a silence that feels almost too perfect. This 19th century settlement, once home to a thriving Shaker community, now stands preserved as a living museum, but some say the villagers never really left.
Very
At
much.
dusk,
Have you
when the sun dips
ever
behind the
dug into
limestone
the
buildings,
Shakers?
a chill
A
settles
little
over the
bit, but not
fields,
a whole lot.
and that
Ooh,
perfect
there's a
calm
movie I
begins
want
to
us to
tremble.
watch together.
Visitors describe hearing rhythmic footsteps along the gravel paths,
It's very interesting.
orderly, as if a procession of Shakers still marches to evening prayer. Doors open slowly on their own, and soft hymns hum through the meeting house, sung by voices no living choir.
Have I missed anything? Is it any good?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just commenting on where we been, where we ain't been.
Is it
And
worth watching, or do you want me to change it?
it's all right. How much is left on it? I want to watch Candace Owens. That show, the one that Brandy was talking about. What was it called, Brandy?
Oh my gosh, what was it? Now,
Shit, I can't remember.
it was her basically Erica Kirk. You know who removed the wedding photo and why?
Oh yeah, it was the wedding photo one. Yeah. I really want to watch that. So anytime you're ready to switch, I'm good with it. Or if you want to stay with this, that's fine too. I'm chill. I'm just vibing.
I don't mind.
I'm just vibing along for the ride and the comfort.
I just thought you wanted to do a what do you call it? I can't even think. I think you had 2 hours sleep.
And you wanted to show us something from Australia too, didn't you?
We can watch a bit of that, yes.
Yeah.
Just a chill.
Wrong.
Okay.
This is the creepiest small towns in Australia. The ones that
creepy.
locals warn you not to go.
Right.
If this is crap, then we'll move to something else.
Was down. Wrong. Like entire populations vanished. Wrong.
It sounds so funny listening now to someone's talking in an Aussie accent. We used to listen to American accents online.
Like locals still won't drive
You
through.
see that kangaroo jump out in front? They do that.
No,
And
I can't get my screen to blow up big. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Where something went wrong. Not
they're
wrong.
attracted to the headlights of your car, and if there is like a bush,
They're like our deer then, because our deer jump out like that.
if there's like bush on either side of the
Yeah.
road, you don't see them coming, and that you hit them, and it's like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah. Same with the deer.
Yeah.
It'll smash your whole grill.
Yeah. Oh, a wombat will cave you. It'll cave your chassis in. It's like hitting
Lord.
yeah.
I can't wait to meet a wombat though.
They are very cute.
Like the pub closed down. Wrong. Like entire populations vanished. Wrong. Like locals still won't drive through after dark, even though they can't explain exactly why. Australia has over 15,000 small towns and settlements scattered across 7.7 million square kilometres. Most are exactly what you'd expect. Friendly, quiet, unremarkable. But some of them are different. Some have histories that locals refuse to discuss. Some have atmospheres that make even skeptics uncomfortable. Some have warnings passed down through generations. Don't stop here after dark. Don't go near that building. Don't ask about what happened. Some involve recent crimes where victims' families are still alive. This is not a list of supposedly haunted hotels trying to attract tourists. This is documented history. Court records, scientific papers on unexplained phenomena,
Good, get on
and the
with it.
consistent testimony of people who live in or near these places and who will tell you quietly that something is wrong here. 18 locations, ranked from unsettling to genuinely disturbing. Starting now. At number 18, we have Wycliffe Well in the Northern Territory. Population, somewhere between 8 and 12 permanent residents. Location, 380 kilometers south of Darwin on the Stewart Highway, which is one of the most isolated roads on
So
Earth.
it's in the middle of
This is the
bumper.
self-proclaimed UFO capital of Australia.
Oh.
And here is the thing. The sightings have been documented consistently for over 80 years. The Roadhouse keeps a
No,
logbook.
this is my shit. That's my
Contains
people's right there.
thousands of entries going back to the 1940s when this was a World War
I came
II
in and
supply
remembered I had a
station.
big ass lasagna,
Witnesses
so I'm having
include
me a snack.
truck drivers, police officers, pilots, and military personnel. I spoke to someone who worked at the Roadhouse who said the logbook is not a joke. People come in shaking. A family from Melbourne refused to continue driving at 9 p.m., insisting on waiting until daylight. The reports describe lights that move wrong, that stop and start, that follow vehicles for kilometers and then vanish. The trade-off is the isolation itself. If you break down between Alice Springs and Darwin after dark, you may wait hours for help. Several people have disappeared on this stretch of highway over the decades. The locals say, do not drive at night if you can avoid it. That warning is about kangaroos and fatigue officially. Unofficially, there are other reasons. At number 17, Farina in South Australia. Population 0, a ghost town 550 kilometers north of Adelaide. The name means flower because optimistic settlers in 1878 believed they could grow wheat in the desert. They could not. At its peak, Farina had 600 residents, 2 hotels, a bank, a school, and an underground bakery where workers baked at night to escape a daytime heat of 50 degrees. The town suffered repeated droughts, rabbit plagues, and eventually the railway bypassed it. The last residents left in the 1950s. What remains are stone ruins slowly being reclaimed by red desert and a cemetery with tiny graves. Infant mortality was catastrophic. I spoke with a volunteer restoration worker who said you feel the history here. Standing in the cemetery, looking at those tiny graves, knowing the hope these people had and how it ended. The surrounding station owners say the town has an atmosphere, especially at dusk. Some will not camp there overnight. There are reports of sounds of children, footsteps in empty buildings, and lights in windows. The trade-off is summer temperatures that can kill you. Visit from April to September only. At number 16, Ravenswood in Queensland. Population 190 people, living among the ruins of a town that once had 4,500. The cemetery contains over 2,000 graves for a town that never exceeded 4,500 residents. That mortality rate tells you everything about the gold rush. Mining disasters killed hundreds, cave-ins, floods, silicosis. The graves kept filling. The town never officially died, but it never recovered. 2 pubs still operate among the ruins. The pub owner told a local history publication that hundreds of men died underground here, and that does not just go away. He has heard things he cannot explain, but he learned not to make a fuss about it. The trade-off is genuine danger from unmarked mine shafts on the outskirts. Do not walk around at night. At number 15 is Walhalla in Victoria. Population 20 permanent residents. Distance from Melbourne 180 kilometers. Here is what makes Walhalla genuinely unsettling. The valley is so narrow and dark that the cemetery had to be built on the only sunny hillside. That cemetery now contains over 1,200 graves for a town that currently has 20 people. The dead outnumber the living 60 to 1. In the 1880s, 4,000 people were packed into this valley chasing gold. The extended mine went down over 40 levels. The valley is so narrow that in winter sunlight only reaches the main street for a few hours each day. Historical accounts document the psychological effects of this darkness on residents. When the gold ran out, people left. What remained were the graves and the buildings pressed against the cliffs. I spoke with a ghost tour operator who has been running tours for 15 years. She said the cemetery produces something for almost every tour: cold spots that move. Photographs people show her afterward with anomalies. Either a lot of people are very good at faking, she said, or something is here. Visitors consistently report claustrophobia from the valley walls and an oppressive atmosphere in the late afternoon as light fades. The trade-off is that winter afternoons get cold and dark by 3 in the afternoon. Plan your departure accordingly. At number 14, Childers in Queensland. It had a population of 1,600. It is 300 kilometers from Brisbane. This is different from the others because the horror is recent and entirely human. On June 23rd, 2000, a man named Robert Paul Long set fire to the Palace Backpackers Hostel at 12:30 a.m. 15 young travelers died. Their ages ranged from 17 to 34. They came from Australia, the UK, the Netherlands, Japan, Korea, Ireland, and Israel. Long had been asked to leave the hostel earlier
I'm
that
switching
day.
devices,
He
Jody.
set
I'm
the
going to
fire,
close this
then stood
one out
outside
and open
and
it
watched.
on my computer.
He was sentenced to life imprisonment. I read testimony from a local resident who helped in the aftermath. They had to cut through a fence to try to reach people. The screaming, they said. I will never forget that night. The town came together, but something in Childers changed forever. Today, there is a memorial where the hostel stood. The names and photos of 15 young people line the walls. A backpacker who visited in 2019 wrote that they stopped for fuel, saw the memorial without knowing what it was, read the plaques, and could not stop crying. 15 young people just like them. The trade-off here is that this is not entertainment. Locals ask that visitors treat the memorial respectfully. The anniversary on June 23rd is observed quietly. Number 13, Kapunda in South Australia. Population 3,000. It sits about 80 kilometres from Adelaide. This town has been called Australia's most haunted place. And unlike most places that claim that title, Kapunda has the investigation documentation to make it interesting. The town was founded in 1838 and became Australia's first successful copper mining centre. There have been multiple documented deaths at sites now reported haunted. 2 men were hanged at the old jail. In 1999, body parts from the Snowtown murder victims were found in a Kapunda mine shaft, adding modern horror to a location already allegedly saturated with the old kind. Paranormal investigators say Kapunda consistently produces more recordable phenomena than any other Australian location they have investigated. One visitor on a ghost tour wrote on TripAdvisor that they were a total skeptic before this. Something touched their shoulder in the North Kapunda Hotel when they were alone in a corner. No one was near them, and the guide had not even started the scary parts yet. They cannot explain it. The trade-off is that the town's marketed reputation may create expectations that influence experiences. Skeptical explanations include heritage building drafts and settling. At number 12, Junee in New South Wales. Population 6,000. It is 450 kilometres from Sydney. Junee itself is a normal country town. What puts it on this list is Monte Cristo Homestead, officially recognised as Australia's most haunted house, with documentation going back over a century. Built in 1885, Monte Cristo has accumulated at least 7 documented deaths directly connected to the property. An infant dropped down the stairs. A maid fell from the balcony. A stable boy burned to death. Harold, the mentally ill son of a caretaker, was chained in an outbuilding for 40 years and was found in a position resembling an animal. That detail alone is disturbing enough before you get to the paranormal reports. The current owners, the Ryan family, have lived there since 1963. Olive Ryan has given multiple media interviews describing 60 years of phenomena. She says the activity started immediately when they moved in, and it has never stopped. She has seen full apparitions. She has been pushed. She has heard screaming when no one was there. After 60 years, she accepts that they share the house. A paranormal investigator who conducted a formal investigation
For me,
in 2019 said
ghosts
Monte Cristo
are way
delivers.
less scary than some people.
Oh yeah. For sure.
In 20 years of investigation, they had never experienced a location this consistently active. Multiple team members recorded independent experiences that correlated. This house, they said, is genuine. The trade-off is that the owners have a commercial interest in maintaining the reputation, but their testimony has been consistent for 6 decades. Visitors consistently report feeling unwelcome in certain rooms and overwhelming sadness in the nursery where the infant died. At number 11, Wittenoom in Western Australia. Population is officially 0. The government says stay away. It lies 1,400 kilometers from Perth. This is the town so deadly it was erased from maps, and the horror here is entirely documented, entirely human, and still killing people today. Wittenoom was built in 1946 to house workers at Australia's only blue asbestos mine. Blue asbestos, crucidolite, is the most deadly form. At peak operation in the 1950s, 20,000 people lived there. Internal company documents show the owners knew the asbestos was killing workers, and they continued operating anyway. Workers used asbestos bags as mattresses. Children played in tailings heaps, sliding down mountains of deadly fiber. The mine closed in 1966, but the dying continued. An estimated 2,000 former residents and workers have died from mesothelioma and asbestosis. More die every year, decades after their childhood exposure. I read testimony from a former child resident who said they used to make cubby houses from asbestos bags and slide down the tailings dumps. Everyone knew it was blue asbestos, but they were told it was safe. Now their classmates are dying, one by one. They wonder every day if they are next. The Western Australian government officially removed Wittenoom from maps in 2007. Roads are closed. The town is still contaminated. A Western Australian Health Department official stated clearly this is not a tourist destination. This is a contaminated site. There is no safe level of exposure to blue asbestos. Visiting Wittenoom could kill you decades from now. The trade-off is, there is no trade-off. Do not go. This is the only location on this list where my advice is genuine. Never visit. At number 10, Picton, New South Wales. Population is 4,500. It is 80 kilometers from Sydney. Picton is close enough to Sydney for easy day trips, and that is part of why its haunted reputation has become so well documented. Multiple locations offer commercial ghost tours. The consistency of reports across decades and thousands of visitors is what makes it interesting. The town was founded in the 1820s using convict labor. The railway arrived in 1863, cutting tunnels through sandstone ranges. Those tunnels have accumulated deaths, including railway accidents, murders, and suicides. The most famous is Emily Bollard, who was struck by a train in 1916. Her apparition, a woman in white, has reportedly been seen by hundreds of independent witnesses over the decades. A ghost tour operator told me they have conducted over 500 tours of Picton. Something happens on nearly every tour, especially in the Mushroom Tunnel. They have seen people refuse to enter before anyone has said anything scary. The visitors just feel it. A Sydney visitor wrote on a forum in 2021 that they went expecting a kitschy ghost tour. In the tunnel, clear as day, they saw a woman in white at the far end. They asked the guide who that was. The guide said there was no one there. 3 people saw her. The trade-off is that expectation shapes experience. If you go looking for ghosts in a place marketed as haunted, you may find what you are looking for, regardless of whether it is there. Skeptical explanations include tunnel acoustics and wind effects, but the volume and consistency of reports and the genuine unease reported by skeptics make Picton worth consideration. At number 9 is Beechworth in Victoria. Population 4,000.
Amen.
Distance from Melbourne, 270 kilometres.
That's cool.
This is
That
one of Victoria's most
reminded
beautiful
me of
heritage
the
towns.
tunnels
It is
around
also where
here.
Hey?
The tunnels in the mountains, especially like over around Gatlinburg and going to Middlesbrough and all the different areas here.
Yeah. And there's caves everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Caves
Oh
and
my
tunnels.
I just Teresa has written she wants a Ouija board, and Bobby said no, which is her husband. And I wrote back, I agree with Bobby. And YouTube rejected my comment.
Oh no.
You're not. What the fuck?
I don't really fuck with the Ouija board either. That's stupid. YouTube does it to me all the time. It'll restrict my comment. It won't let me type out certain websites and certain like keywords and stuff. It's weird.
That's
They're
odd.
very censored. It's very censored.
Do you want to come up and tell it who to have? Because the girls can't see the writing.
Do what?
Udahev's got a ghost story, but he's typing it in the chat, and you guys can't read it. So you can. I've sent the link if you want to jump up and tell it quickly if you want.
Cool.
Step out. Yeah, Ouija boards. You've got to be very, very careful. You've got to make sure that you protect yourselves because they can open up the veil and let things in that you don't want let in. So if you don't know what you're doing, they're fucking dangerous.
I mean, if you're experienced with divination and spirit communication and working with deities and even demonology, then like there's nothing to fear as long as you protect yourself properly.
And I wouldn't do it in my own home.
And know that like you hold the power and that Jesus is behind you and that you can call on him to help you at any time. You know, like there's ways to protect yourself and do it, but there's better ways to divine. Yeah, I feel like, you know what I mean? There's better ways to communicate with spirit, in my opinion. Like, I love my dowsing rods and tarot cards, oracle cards, and things like that, but the Ouija board's just not my thing.
No. Right. So, what did he say? He said, I used to be really into the paranormal stuff when I was 15. I used the Ouija board frequently and stuff. My mum had a friend who was a president of a paranormal ghost hunting group, so she introduced us. And they invited me to go on a hunt with them. On the occasion we went was a church graveyard somewhere way out in the country in Georgia. Apparently, a lot of churches have graveyards out back. Yeah. We had all this equipment that the group brought. One such piece of equipment was what they called a K2 meter, which measured electromagnetic frequencies. Okay, next. Type faster.
Everything is energy.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Even the ghosts.
You sound tired. Oh, anyway, long story short, the meters were going off like crazy near the gravestones, and they weren't just randomly blinking. They would blink in a series of ones or twos, depending on what we asked. Wow. I actually went on a ghost tour.
I love it.
That was with Arthur. I never knew how this could have possibly happened because I later became much more skeptical of things like this. No. You're not skeptical, Brian. Well, I think this has got 10 more minutes left.
9,000 documented deaths occurred at the Mayday Hills Lunatic Asylum, and where many were buried in unmarked graves on the hillside. Let me say that again. 9,000 documented deaths in one institution over 128 years of operation. Patients were buried in graves marked only with numbers, and many grave locations are now lost. Treatments included ice baths, prolonged isolation, physical restraints, and electroshock. By modern standards, much of what happened at Mayday Hills was torture of vulnerable people. The buildings still stand. Some are now a university campus. Some remain empty. Ghost tours have operated for more than 20 years.
This was probably an MK Ultra office.
The founder of Asylum Ghost Tours said, in more than 20 years of tours, they have seen people who arrived as skeptics leave convinced. This building holds something. Whether you call it ghosts or energy or residual trauma, 9,000 people died here in terrible circumstances. That leaves a mark. A former La Trobe University student wrote on Reddit that they studied there for 3 years. Late nights in the library in the old building, multiple times they heard footsteps in corridors when the building was empty. Other students had the same experiences. They did not talk about it much, but everyone knew. The trade-off is confronting what happened to mentally ill people in Australia for more than a century. The patients who died here were often poor, indigenous, immigrant, or simply inconvenient to their families. Their suffering was systematic, not aberrant. The Grevillea wing, which housed violent patients, reportedly produces the most intense experiences. At number 8, Myall Creek in New South Wales. Population essentially zero. This is a memorial site. It is about 150 kilometres from Tamworth. This entry is different because it involves a documented historical atrocity, not paranormal claims, and I want to be clear about what we are discussing. On June 10th, 1838, a group of stockmen rode into Myall Creek Station and committed a massacre, killing at least 28 Wiriarai Aboriginal people. The victims were a peaceful group camping at the station. They included women, children, and elders. The killers then burned the bodies to destroy evidence. What makes Myall Creek historically significant is what
I guarantee you Port Arthur will be on here then.
happened next. Station workers who witnessed the massacre reported it. 7 of the 11 perpetrators were eventually hanged after 2 trials. The first jury refused to convict. The second did. This was one of the only documented cases in colonial Australian history where white men were executed for killing Aboriginal people. Conservative estimates suggest over 65,000 Indigenous Australians were killed in frontier violence between 1788 and the 1930s. Almost none of those deaths resulted in any legal consequences. A memorial was established in 2000 with an annual commemoration now attended by descendants of the victims and the general public together. A Wiriarai elder interviewed by the ABC said their people died here, their children and grandchildren. This memorial matters because it tells the truth. For a long time, this was hidden and denied. Now people can come and know what happened. Visitors report profound sadness at the site. Some report unusual experiences, but I want to be careful here. This is not a location where we should be looking for ghosts as entertainment. This is a place where children were murdered and their bodies burned. The fact that it represents thousands of similar events across Australia that went unpunished and unacknowledged is the point. A visitor in 2019 wrote that as an Australian, they should have known about this. Standing at the memorial, reading the names, knowing children were murdered here, it changes you. We need more places like this that tell the true history. The trade-off is not about visiting comfort. The trade-off is confronting what actually happened in this country and deciding whether acknowledgement or continued silence serves us better. The annual commemoration on June 10th is an appropriate time to visit if you wish to participate respectfully. Otherwise, approach the memorial as what it is, a site of mass murder where justice was unusually, imperfectly achieved. Number 7, Belanglo State Forest in New South Wales, near the heritage town of Berrima. Berrima has a population of 700. It is 150 kilometres from Sydney. This is the forest where Ivan Milat buried 7 backpackers between 1989 and 1992. Their bodies were discovered in 1992 and 1993. He was convicted in 1996 and he died in prison in 2019. The victims were Caroline Clark and Joanne Walters from the United Kingdom, Simone Schmidl, Gabor Neugebauer and Anja Habschied from Germany, and Deborah Everest and James Gibson from Australia. Court records document that some victims were shot multiple times and some were stabbed. Evidence suggested some were released into the forest and hunted before being killed. Many locals will not go into Belanglo. The forest remains open for recreation, but experienced bushwalkers describe something different about it. One person wrote on Reddit that they had bushwalked all over New South Wales and that there is something about Belanglo unlike any other forest. They knew the history before they went, and maybe that affected them, but they had never felt so watched, so unwelcome. They will not go back. A police officer involved in the investigation said in a documentary that the forest felt wrong from the first day. Dense, dark, disorienting. When investigators understood what had happened there, it made a terrible kind of sense. Those young people were hunted through those trees. The trade-off is psychological. If you know the history, it will affect your experience. dense pine forests are unsettling regardless. Belanglo is open and legal to visit, but many prefer not to. At number 6, the family properties around Lake Alden in Victoria. They are located between 150 and 200 kilometres from Melbourne.
There is a documentary on this on Netflix that I was going to do a watch time party with. This is true. This is a true story. And I grew up every weekend up at Lake Eldon. So yeah.
These properties were where Anne Hamilton Byrne ran a cult that obtained children through fraudulent adoptions, starved them, gave them LSD, bleached their hair to make them look identical,
Sounds about
and
what's
told them
happening
she
now
was
in
Jesus Christ
fucking America.
reincarnated. This was systematic abuse. The cult operated from the 1960s until a police raid in 1987 rescued 28
remember watching a show about this.
The children had bleached white hair.
I remember watching a show about this. It's really interesting.
MK Ultra.
I couldn't hear you. We're both talking. Sorry.
When did this happen?
Oh, in the 80s.
Brandy, do you remember?
I think they said it started in the 70s. I think that's what it just said, but
Okay, I missed it. Sorry.
but
Cool.
I watched there's a movie or
Yes.
not a movie, a documentary
it
or
up
something
later.
about this.
She looked familiar.
There is. There's one on Netflix. And
Yeah,
I'll do it
it's really interesting.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll watch it.
Or where Anne Hamilton Byrne ran a cult that obtained children through fraudulent adoptions, starved them, gave them LSD, bleached their hair to make them look identical, and told them she was Jesus Christ reincarnated. This was systematic abuse. The cult operated from the 1960s until a police raid in 1987 rescued 28 children from the Lake Alden property. The children had bleached white hair, were malnourished, and showed evidence of drug administration. Many cult members were professionals, doctors, lawyers, and nurses. They facilitated the abuse. The children were rescued. A survivor said in a documentary that they were given LSD from age 14. They were starved. They were told their aunt was Jesus. They had no concept of the outside world. Their hair was bleached so they all looked like her biological children.
Yeah.
It was not a life. The survivor testimony is stark.
Why do they
A
show it?
police
Why do they
officer
show it?
involved in the
Fucking bunker for that.
1987 raid said the children all had white blonde hair and were terrified. They had been told the outside world was evil and they did not know basic things about life. It was like stepping into another world. They were terrified.
They were totally
Anne
from
Hamilton Byrne
birth.
was only ever convicted of
Right.
making false statements. She died in
How she
2019.
wanted them.
The properties are now privately owned. This is not a place for dark tourism. Survivors are still alive, and this is recent history. Watch the documentaries instead to understand what happened. The isolation that allowed this abuse to continue for decades is the same isolation that characterizes so many Australian horror stories. At number 5 is Snowtown in South Australia. Population 530. It sits 145 kilometres from Adelaide. This small agricultural town became synonymous with Australia's worst serial killing, and the residents wish you would stop coming to look at an empty lot. In May 1999, police discovered 6 barrels containing 8 dismembered bodies in a disused bank vault on the main street. The investigation revealed 11 total victims killed between 1992 and 1999 by John Bunting, Robert Wagner, and accomplices. The victims were tortured before death. The killers collected their victims' social security benefits after murdering them. They stored bodies in barrels in backyards and eventually in that bank vault, while living otherwise unremarkable suburban lives. A detective involved in the investigation said in a documentary that opening those barrels is something you never recover from. What had been done to those people? The methodical cruelty. And the killers had been living normal suburban lives while doing it. Here is the thing about Snowtown that most coverage misses. The murders did not actually happen there. The town was just where bodies were stored. Snowtown became the name attached to the crimes because that is where the discovery was made. But the actual killings occurred elsewhere in suburban Adelaide. The residents of Snowtown live with a notoriety. They did not choose for crimes committed by people who were not even from their town. A Snowtown resident told the ABC in 2019 that they are sick of it. The murders did not happen here, just the storage of bodies. It could have been any town with an empty bank. But they are stuck with the name forever. People drive through just to look at an empty lot. The bank was demolished in 2009. There is nothing to see. The trade-off is
That's
ethical.
creepy.
Consider whether visiting serves any purpose. The empty lot where the bank stood tells you nothing you could not learn from documentaries. The locals would prefer you stayed away. If you want to understand the crimes, watch the 2011 film Snowtown or read the court records. If you want to understand the location, understand that it is a normal country town whose name was taken from it. This is different from locations where the history is distant or where tourism is welcomed as acknowledgement. The victims' families are still alive. The trauma is recent. The town did nothing wrong and carries the burden anyway. At number 4 is the Arkaroola area in the northern Flinders Ranges of South Australia. Population is near zero in the wilderness areas. Distance from Adelaide is 600 kilometres. This is ancient country, some of the oldest rocks on Earth, where unexplained lights have been documented for over a century, and multiple people have simply vanished. The MIN mine lights are a documented phenomenon. Scientific papers have been written about them. Aboriginal traditional owners have knowledge of these lights going back thousands of years. They appear as floating lights that follow observers, approach, then retreat, and appear in impossible locations. An Arkaroola tour guide who has worked there for 15 years said they saw the Min lights 3 times. Each time, they behaved differently. Once, one followed the car for maybe 5 minutes, then vanished. You learn to accept that not everything out here can be explained. A geologist on a research expedition said the silence is the first thing you notice, then the scale, then the night sky. Then you start understanding why people have been seeing things out here for 50,000 years. The land does something to perception. The trade-off is genuine danger from extreme isolation. People have died from unprepared travel in this region. Carry a satellite phone, take extensive water, and tell someone your detailed plans. At number 3 is Port Arthur in Tasmania. The population in the broader...
That's the one that I'm covering. Hey, Liz. Hello, sweetheart. I didn't even fucking see you. Yes, this is where this is the biggest massacre in Australia. And Martin Bryant was the perfect patsy.
The area is 499, and it is about 100 kilometres from Hobart. This is perhaps Australia's most layered site of horror, a convict prison built on deliberate psychological cruelty, the site of Australia's worst mass shooting, and a location where ghost tours have run for over...
I've done that ghost tour on my honeymoon. It was great.
...for 30 years, because the paranormal activity is consistent
That's cool.
enough
Was it
to
cool?
support them. Port
Yeah.
Arthur operated from 1830 to 1877 as a prison for repeat offenders. The separate prison used prolonged solitary confinement specifically designed to break prisoners' minds.
Oh,
It was documented as such at the time. Then on April 28th, 1996, Martin Bryant killed 35 people
Yeah, he did.
and wounded 23 in what remains Australia's worst mass shooting.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 35 life sentences
him.
plus 1,035 years. A ghost tour guide with 15 years of experience said they have led thousands of tours, and something happens on nearly every one, particularly in the parsonage. They have seen people who knew nothing about the site identify the exact room where death occurred. They have seen photographs people take home that show things no one saw at the time. The trade-off is confronting both historical and recent trauma in the same location. At number 2 is the Nullarbor Plain crossing between South Australia and Western Australia. Population is near zero, except at roadhouses. The distance is 1,200 kilometres of almost nothing between Adelaide and Perth. This is not a town. It is the absence of towns across a distance where people regularly vanish and strange lights are reported constantly. Help may be hours away, even if you can call for it. Multiple missing persons cases remain open. Some are suspected homicides where bodies were never recovered. A truck driver with 20 plus years on the route wrote on a forum that you learn to respect the Nullarbor. They have seen things they cannot explain. Lights that follow, then vanish. A feeling that something is wrong when nothing visible is wrong. They have also seen what happens when unprepared tourists break down out there. The road takes people. The trade-off is the genuine possibility of dying if you travel unprepared. This is not metaphorical danger. Carry water, food, fuel, and emergency communication. At number 1, Lake Ballard and the Coolyannobbing Ghost Town area in Western Australia. Population 0. It is 500 kilometres from Perth.
sorry. We have. Did you see the name of that? You ready?
Food, fuel, and emergency communication.
Come on.
At number 1, Lake Ballard and the Coolyannobbing...
Cool, you nubbing.
Oh, you're nobbing. Oh my lord! I bet you it's meant to say, "Coolly and obing." Hey, sweetheart, long time no see. Yes, the Bermuda Triangle is like most people don't realise that the whole of the middle of Australia is pretty much nothing. It's just barren, and you're lucky if you catch a tiny little service station, as with the pump they just showed you. That's all you see for hundreds and thousands of kilometers. It's barren.
It's like the Badlands for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was that? They did a series with what's his name? Oh, there's no point me even trying to remember. My brain is not going to work now with 2 hours sleep. There was a series on it though, like a horror movie film thing where they people got missing on the freeways, on the highways up in New South Wales. I can't remember. You'd know it if you heard it, but my brain ain't working. Not even close.
Ghost town area in Western Australia. Population 0. It is 500 kilometres from Perth and 50 kilometres from the nearest settlement, Menzies, which has 100 people. This is Australia's strangest destination, a place where isolation, abandonment, ancient Aboriginal significance, and an uncanny art installation combine into something that affects nearly everyone who visits in ways they struggle to describe. Coolyanobing is an abandoned mining town. Lake Ballard is an ancient salt lake with deep Aboriginal cultural significance. In 2003, artist Anthony Gurmley installed 51 metal humanoid figures across the lake for the Perth International Arts Festival. They were never removed. The figures were created from body scans of Menzies residents. Locals turned into eternal metal sentinels standing on white salt, scattered to the horizon. An art critic who visited in 2010 wrote that they had written about art for 30 years, and this was not an aesthetic experience. This was something else. Standing among those figures at sunset, alone on a salt lake, they had no framework for what they felt. Unsettling is inadequate. Spiritual is too loaded. It simply was not like anything else. A Perth traveller wrote on Reddit in 2022 that they drove 5 hours to see it. They stayed maybe 3 hours. When they got back to the car, 6 hours had passed. Both of their phones showed the same time, different from their watches by 3 hours. They do not understand it. They are not crazy. Something about that place is wrong or different. They do not know how to say it. Consistent reports include disorientation beyond what the geography should cause, time feeling distorted.
They do a lot of car racing and shit out there on the Salt Lakes.
Sounds with no apparent source, and the figures appearing to move in peripheral vision. The isolation is profound. No phone coverage, no infrastructure. The nearest help is an hour away. The trade-off is that visiting requires serious preparation and accepting that you will be alone with something you may not fully understand. So where does this leave us? 18 locations across Australia where the tourism brochures systematically lie by omission.
Number one yet?
Massacre sites, contaminated wastelands, serial killer hunting grounds, asylums where thousands died, forests that feel wrong, plains where lights follow vehicles, and a salt lake where time itself reportedly bends. These places exist. The history is verified. The court records are public.
Yes.
The death tolls are documented. Whether you believe in the supernatural or not, something about land that has witnessed horror seems to hold onto it in ways that affect almost everyone who visits. The locals who warn you not to stop after dark are not doing it for tourism. They are doing it because they have felt it themselves. Let me be completely honest about who this is not for. If you want comfortable travel, this is not for you. If you need ghost stories to be definitively beyond the beaches and the cute wildlife, these places matter. This is the shadow side of the sunburnt country, and pretending it does not exist serves no one. Have you been to any of these places? Did you feel it? Comment your experience below. I genuinely want to know what you encountered. And if you...
Did we do number one already? That Salt Lake place was number one, was it? That's how much attention I was. That must have been number one. There it is. Number one, Lake Ballard. Cool nobbing. I've hit a wall, my loves. You still in this?
Yeah, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
I'm nice and worn down and ready to head out. Thank you for doing this with me.
That's all right. We'll organise.
Yeah, we'll get organized tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a busy few weeks coming up, so rest up.
Yeah, I've got to prepare for tomorrow's stream.
Yeah. Well, don't prepare, don't over prepare. Just rest.
Yeah.
It'll fall into place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we finally hit the 2,000 subs on our last.
I'm excited for you for that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you do got some work to do.
Yeah, I do.
I'd be excited too. I'd be doing the same thing.
All right, my darling.
All
Thank you,
right.
everyone. Once again, I
Thank you,
apologize.
everybody, for coming and hanging out tonight.
Planned your plan, but it happens.
Yeah.
And
My
we'll
old
catch
voice
up.
needed a nice rest anyway.
Yeah. All right. If you can't be good at it.
Right.
Oh, the Devil's Advocates are live at the moment. If you'd like to go and watch and join their stream,
I probably
can.
will hop over there in the comments for a moment.
Yeah.
See what's going on as I go to sleep.
Be good to your mother. And what was it? Hasta la vista, bitches. That's it. Try, love. Bye.
Whispers in the shadowed halls, the judge's gavel, justice stalls. Hands that should protect, they take, turn lives to ash, left hearts to break.
But in the silence, voices rise.